A Softek IT Consult.
Hello everyone, welcome to A Softek IT Consult. In today's episode or in today's video, we are going to tackle this management information system assignment. Yes, that is a group assignment that is on server virtualization, right? Yeah, so this is the objective to provide students with hands-on experience in designing and implementing a virtual server environment using industry standard tools. Let me just go straight. Okay, so this particular part of the assignment it says that describe the organizational IT challenges, blah blah blah. Select virtualization platform. Okay, and then here we have to install. We have to create and configure 3 virtual machines. We have to configure services on webmail, web and then mail. And then we have to set up internal network connectivity. And then we have to provide annotated screenshot as evidence, right? So I think basically these are what we are going to really do. Okay, part A and then part B. Those are our most important things that we are going to do because that is the practical aspect of this assignment. Okay, so without wasting much time, okay, I'm just going to dive into. I know we've all seen the question before. All right, so let me just get in here. Okay, so I'm going to launch my virtualization machines. Okay, and then I'm going to be creating new machines right from here. So I start everything from scratch. Yes, I select Ubuntu. Right. And then here, I think there are 3 okay machines. One can be what? File server. I'll make this as what? File server. Yes. Just make this as just 10 gig from here. And then here, I'm going to configure this very hardware. Just as what? 2 gigabyte here. CPU. Right. As just 2. Okay. And then here, I'm just going to insert the ISO to install. So I have what Ubuntu Live Server right there. I've inserted that particular one. Then I click on finish. Okay, so I'm going to do same for the others. So this is file server, as you can see, file server. All right, yes. So let me go get another one. Yes. So yes, Ubuntu 64-bit. Yes, I'm going to get this one as this one become web server. Yes, web server. And then this one becomes, yes, same configurations. This is 2. I pick it up again. And I boot this one too as well. And then the last one, let's take the last one. So again, same procedure, same process. And then this is going to be, I think, mail server, right? We had mail server, file server, and then web server. Same configurations. Yeah, same configurations. Yes, this way. And I select the file from this side. And I close and I finish. I power this one to on. So we can tell I have 64, I have file server, web server, and then mail server. Okay, so let me check and then install all of them. So I'm going to configure them. Let me make it this way so that we see. Yes, so this is English. Continue without updating will be done here. Continue. Um, Network. Okay, I think the network is in. So done. Proxy address, yes. And then here, I'm going to take this one off. I don't want that. And then this one, we are going to continue from here. So here, yes, you can enter your any name you want to, but I'm going to use Ubuntu, and I'm going to use the as web server. Which one is this? This is file server, right? So file server. Yes, I'm going to use same here, file server, and then I set my password. Yes, and then I click on install SSH. Yes, and then I go to done. I just want to make sure my connectivity is in. Okay, yes, it's connected. Okay, so let's check the other ones. Web server, also right here. So we are using the same procedure. We are changing nothing. Yeah, so we had an IP address. Then we take this one off. Done, done. We continue. Yes, we type in the same name here. This is web server. Web server. Alright, so I'll put in web server. Web server. And then the password. And then yes, we also install SSH for this. And then this is also installing. So the third one, let's go get it done. Let's get them done. Okay, so same procedure. Yes, we have an IP address. Okay, we take this one off. We continue. We also configure this one. This one is mail server. So write mail server. Yes, mail server. And then we configure it here this way. Yes. So let's wait. Let's wait. They are all installing. Let me see. Has anyone done? No, not done. This is also installing, not done. And this is also in an installation mode, not done. Okay, so let's wait for a while to see whether they complete so that we continue. So they are still loading. All right, so it seems we have all of them installed. Yes, so I'm going to reboot this one. Yes. And I'm going to reboot this one as well. And I'm going to reboot this one as well. So all three rebooted. Okay. So I'm going to click enter. That is the login. So you enter your login name. Remember, we use what, file server. Then you enter the password. And then it opens. Oh, yes, that's it. It opens. Right. Okay. So the second one. enter. We used web server as a login, and then the password, and then it opens. And then the last one, the mail server, we enter. We use mail server, the password, and then we are in. So right now we've been able to fulfill part A of the assignment. Yes, part A, we've set up our 3 virtual machines, and then we've been able to configure them. So right now we are coming to work on the services. All right. So first of all, we'll take the web server. You know, web services, okay, mostly run on the Apache, right? The Apache mostly run web services, right? Okay, like website hosting and etc. in localhost, blah blah blah. So we are going to do that. But before, this is Linux. We have to update the Linux. Okay. So we are going to update the Linux. Since it is a Linux, so we are going to update it. Right, we are going to use the advanced package 2. Okay, so we type sudo apt and then we'll say update right from here. Okay, so it's updated, right? It is updated. Then therefore we can go on and then install the Apache. Before, let me log in as root. Okay, sudo su. Yeah, so I am now root, right? So I'm going to type in apt advanced package 2. Okay, install Apache 2. Yes. So I'll click enter. Let's see. And I'll click Y. It says yes. Voila. So I've been able to install the web service on this. But let's see whether we can open the web server. Okay, the site to see. Before I have to check out the IP address of this, which is going to give me error because I have to install net2. So advanced package 2 once again, and then we install net2s. Right. Okay. So after here, I can check out this, and then the IP address is .156.156. Right. Okay. So .156. Let me get in here. Okay. And let me see 192.16a .93.156. Right. So yes. So when this opens, it means that it says what? It worked. It worked. So if we are going to host a website or web application with the Apache, it is going to work. So our Apache is actually working. Yes. So it worked. Okay. That's fine. Let's move on to the next one. That is the file server. Okay. So with this one, I'm going to also log in as root. Yes. So I'm root. Let me clear the screen. Okay, and then let's go on to update this as well. Okay, updated. Right now, since we are dealing with file server, it is file sharing. Okay, it is what? File share. We want to be sending files and receiving files or putting files on the network, people to access, right? So what we are going to do, what we are going to use, we call it Samba. Okay, Samba is what is an open source what file sharing what 2. Okay, so I'm going to run it this way. Advanced package 2. Okay, install Samba. Okay, and I'll put what? That's why, which means everything which comes, it should say yes. So Samba this way. Yes, Samba is also installed on our server. The service is installed, but we are not done. Before we actually create any part that is going to help us, okay, use as a storage that can be accessed, okay, by other devices or by other people. We have to create a directory. Okay, so I'm going to make a directory, and I'm going to make it as a parent. I'm going to use the name. I'm going to say if this should be SVR, and I will say it should be called share. Okay, should I call it share or shared? Any of them? I think any of them is really going to work. So let me just make it share. Yes, like that. So this particular folder, we are going to use it for something. Okay, so after I've created this particular folder, the next thing that I'm going to do, okay, is that I'm going to configure our Samba. Okay, so I'm going to open the configuration file. Now I'm going to go to configuration. I'm going to look for Samba. I'm going to look for the configuration for Samba. What is happening? Samba. Yes, SMB. Yes, this one. I'm going to click on enter. So this one opens, okay? This one opens. This one is the nano test editor. I'm going to scroll down to the last part. I'm going to scroll down to the last part. Okay, so this is the last part actually. So I'm going to write some few lines right here. Hey, what's happening? Okay, some few lines right here. Put here, and I'll say shared. All right. Okay, one line that I'm going to write, okay, is going to be this very simple line. Okay, the part where you remember I created a folder, a directory where I said we are going to keep everything inside. So I'm going to put that same directory here. I'm going to say this is share. Okay, and what am I going to do again? I'm going to say that this particular part or this particular directory should be browsable. When people come in, they should be able to navigate in and out. All right, browsable should be equal to yes. I'm going to say that read only shouldn't be yes, it should be no, because people should be able to put files there and should be able to remove files out from it. Right, I'm going to say guest as well. Okay, anyone should be able to access this. Yeah, so these are the few settings I've added in here. So I'm going to save this, Control S, then Control X, and then we are out. So before I do anything, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set permissions to that particular directory, okay, that particular directory to be writable, okay, by everybody. Nobody owns it. So I go ch own, okay, I'm changing ownership. So I change ownership in here, and I'm going to say that it should be recursive this way. Nobody owns it, no user owns it, and then no group also owns it. And then what is the directory? Remember, it is this particular directory that we created, if you remember. Yes, it says what cannot access srv cd srv. Okay, I think the share wasn't created. The share wasn't created. Okay, the problem is coming from the share. Share wasn't created. But I remember we gave a command like this. Yes, this particular one. Make directory this and srv this way. So let me see. share wasn't created still. Let me see this way. Still, share hasn't been created. What is happening? Okay, let me make directory here. And I will say share. Okay, so right now share has been created. Okay, as you can see, share has been what has been created right there. Yes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to call back the command that we were writing. Yes, this particular one, and now it worked. I'm going to what to also change what mode. Okay, to also this one. I'm going to allow everybody to what to write, read, and execute. Okay, I'm going to make sure it is the same directory this way. Yes. So what do I do now? I have to what to restart the Samba. So I write what system control. I will say restart. Okay. Yes, the Samba daemon. Yes. So our Samba is also working. Yes, our Samba daemon is also working. Okay, we've set up the services for the Samba. Okay, so let's get to the mail server. Let me log in here as also what sudo. Yes, everything worked. Now let's also update this particular one. Okay, updated. So right now we have to go and then what get our website our mail services installed on. So we say apt install postfix. Okay, it's used to send mails and receive. It's used to send mails. Okay, and then we are going to use what we call dovecut. Okay, yes, dovecut core. Sorry, use the core, and then we'll be using what dove cut imap. Okay, we have imap. Yes, this one. And then I'll say yes for all. Okay, so yes, let me explain this. So this particular one, okay, is going to help us to what to send okay mails, okay, and then the dovecourt core, okay, is going to help us okay to be able to receive what mails in our inbox. Okay, and then imap, this is just a protocol. Imap, internet message access protocol. All right, yes, and then this particular one is going to just do automatic respondent for us. So let's see whether this is going to work. All right, so this worked seamlessly, which is installing. Hello. Yeah, let me call you back. Let me finish recording this video. Let me call you back. Right, it worked. So we are going to configure postfix with the internet site. Okay, so I'm going to click on OK from here, and I'm going to select OK from here. Everything is installing, which means we've been able to install our web server, our file server, and now our mail server is also working. Right now, our mail server is also working. Let's wait for it to complete. Okay, so it's complete. So right now, we have to get what a mail management okay system. So we are going to use what a utility. Okay, we are going to use what a utility which is going to help us to to manage our mail. Yes, we are going to get a utility that is going to help us to manage our mail. So this is what we are going to do? We are going to install this particular mail utility. Say package 2 install. Let me see. What is this? Yes, so mail utility. Okay, that is going to help us to what? To see mails that are what? That are being sent to us. Okay, and then sometimes also what? Send mails out there, right? Even though we have the mail server, but we have to get what? Like an application that is going to help us to send the mail and then also see the mail in our inbox. So we are going to use what we call mail utilities right from here. So that is also installed. So let's try and see whether we can send a mail. But before, I want to add a user. Okay, let me add a user called test user. Yes, and then I'll set the password for this user. Test user. Yeah, so I've set password for this particular user. Right, as I'm saying, we want to just send a mail. Let's see if it is somehow going to work. So we say echo, and then we write this. We say hello from this side. Yes, and then we put the pipe. We say mail. Yes, and then we put this particular S from here. And then we are going to put the subject. We say what? This is a test. Let's assume this is just a test subject. This is just the subject of the mail. And then we are going to put the recipient. Okay. This is the sender. Sorry, this is the sender. So maybe test user, the test user that we created at localhost. Yeah, so this is just a simple mail. So let's enter this particular mail. Let's see whether it goes or it doesn't. So I click enter. Okay, so it is gone. So where is it? Okay, so if I should see where the mail is the reason why we installed the mail utilities. So I can just type in mail and let's see. I type in mail. They say no mail for root. Sorry. Then we have to log into what's the name? Our test user. Right. Yes, we have to log into to our test user. We say what? Test user, switch user, test user. Yes, and then let's enter mail. See, we have what? Test subject. We have one. We have one message. Right? Can you see? Hello from this side. Can you see this one? Look at this. It says hello from this side. Our message that we type. Right. So when I go down, that is it. Okay, so yes, but we also have another application that can even help us more. Okay, verbosely to see the mail that we've typed in here. Okay, yes, we have another application that can really help us to even see much more than what we are seeing in here. And I'm going to launch that application. Okay, so we are back to root. So let's install this particular application. Apt install mute this way. Yes, this way. So this is going to be like something like Thunderbird or Gmail or what's the name? Microsoft okay. So we can also launch an application to see whether we can find our mail. Say yes from here. It says that what Yes, there was a message. Can you see? Security information for mail server, blah blah blah. There was some messages that were in here. It even reported, right? Yes, so that is that for this. Okay, so the mail server is what is working. So right now we can tell that all of our services, they are all working. But I want us to do something um on the file server, right? I want us to just what create a file, okay, and then what host it and then go and check whether we can find that particular file on the server, right? But for us to do that, I'm going to power on my Kali Linux, um, and I'm going to turn on a Windows 10 as well from here. So this is our Windows 10, and this is my Linux. So let me log in. Okay, so I'll open my terminal. Let me zoom in. All right. So I'm going to, so if I want to or to work on the Samba, right? Yes, I want to access the Samba, that particular pod. You know, I have to mount the Samba directory or the drive in my Kali Linux. And this is what, or this is how we are going to do that. Okay, we will have to to mount it. This is how we are going to do that. Okay, so we are going to be doing something to be able to access, okay, our shared folder on the network, okay, from our file server. Okay, this is my Kali Linux. We're going to do this on the Linux, we do this on the Windows. Okay, so we are going to install a utility called the Common Interfile System Sharing. So this is how we are going to install it. So apt install, okay, Common Interfile Sharing, and then utilities. Okay, so this particular one is going to help us to be able to transfer files from Windows to Linux to, then that is how it actually helps. Okay, so since we've installed it, we must mount a directory. Okay, we must mount a directory. So we are even going to create one first. So we'll be creating a directory first before we are going to even mount one. Right, so I'm going to create a directory in here. Okay, I'm going to mount it this way. I'm going to call it Samba share. Yes, as I have here already. And I click on this, it tells me I've already created this. So I'm creating a directory in my mount directory, right, called Samba share. And this particular Samba share, that is where I'm going to actually mount the file server directory that we've done in our file server. So this is how we are going to do. I'm going to say mount, and then we're going to use the flag T, and then we'll say what common interfile system, and then the address, the IP address, that is 192.168.93. It becomes this, okay? And then when we come here, we are going to go to the shared folder. You remember we created a shared folder in our in our file server, and then we visit this particular directory once again with the Samba shared. Yes, and then we go as a guest right here. Let's see whether it works. Says what? Can't find in etc tab. Can't find in etc tab. Is anything really wrong in here? Well, I think the issue was coming from we leaving out a space between these. Okay, so you can see we now have space. Let's see. Yes, so it worked now. Okay, so we've been able to mount the common interfile system, okay, the directory, and then Samba share right there. So let's go and then check out if we have it right there. And then we go to the Samba. Yeah, so there is nothing in it. There is nothing in it, right? I'm going to create a file. I'm going to put it in there. So let's see. Touch. I'm going to say mnt. Okay, Samba share. I'm going to say maybe new file. Okay, let's see this new file .txt. Let's write a new file in there. Yes, I've created a new file. All right. Okay, a new file. I've created a new file using the Kali, but I can go to the what's the name? The file server, and I can go and check. Okay, so let me go and check within the SRV. Okay, so I'll open this particular SRV and I'll go to the share. Can you see we have what? The new file that was created. Okay, but what the Kali is right here. And let me also visit my Windows and let's see whether we can also see. So I'm going to just what Windows R. Okay, and I'm going to type in this. So I've typed in this already. I'm going to change the IP address. That is 155. Okay, so let me show it to you. Let me show it to you. Show this one to you. Yeah, so this is the command. Right. Yes, you enter your IP address and then let's click this. Let's open. So this is a file that I just created. So I've been able to share a file for everybody to get access to the file. Okay. Now I want us to just go and do some things on the mail server. I'm going to my this is the mail server. It's right here. All right, let me clear this. We have our mail server right here. Let's assume that we want to send a mail from the Kali to the mail server. How is it going to be? So with that one, let me clear this one. I'm going to install Telnet. Okay, Telnet is going to allow or help us to transmit and then receive mail. Okay, so the mail application that you use, we have what we call Telnet. That is port 25. Okay, so we are going to install Telnet. Install. Oh, what is happening? Then we'll say install Telnet. Yeah, so Telnet has been installed. So how are we going to go about this? Since Telnet has now been installed, okay, we are just going to type in what Telnet, and then we'll just give the IP address, and then we'll just say 93. This was what 155, and then we'll put the port. Telnet is port 25. So let's see. So at the moment, oh, something is wrong. Telnet unable to connect to remote host. What happened? Or is the IP address wrong? 155 port 25. What actually went wrong? What went wrong? I'm just trying to find out. Let me see. Mail server. Oh, sorry. I think mail server has a different IP address. Yes. Mail server actually has a different IP address. Yes. apt install nettools. Absolutely. So let's see. Because the IP address was wrong. The IP address is 163. It is 163 instead. It is not 155. It is 163. Yes. Yes. So at the moment you get this 220 mail server.local domain, it is working. So any message that you put in is actually going to work. Okay. So I typed some few messages in here, which I'm going to open so that we drop it in there to see. So let's see. I'm going to copy this particular message that is here. It is just hello, and I'm going to just drop it in here. So let's see. So this was the message. Okay, the message was simple. hello web srv.local, and I'm saying mail from me from this particular machine to the test user. Remember, I created a test user somewhere. I created a test user, yes, on the mail server. So this is a test mail sent from web server to what? To mail server, right? Yes. And then it says okay. It says what? It has been queued. Okay, and after it has closed. So let's go check the mail server to see whether the message has come. So we now let's log in as what? As test user. And let's see. Test user. Oh, sorry. Should be test user. Okay, now when I type in new, let's see, what do we get? Yes, you can see that we have that is the second message. Look at it. The second message, okay, yes, you can see this is it. Let me zoom in for you to really see. I'm going to zoom in for you to see that that was the message that we transmitted. Yes, this is what test email from web server. This is a test message, test mail, right? Okay, let me log out. Let me log out from here, and then let me open mute and let's see, because we can see it more clearer there. Yeah, so let me open this one. This was just hello from this side, the one I typed earlier, if you remember. And then when I go down here, no, this one. And this is what we just sent. This is a test email sent from the web server. Yeah, so that is that. Okay, so since we've been able to run through and then run the services to make sure everything is working, this brings us to the end of the MIS student project. Please don't go yet. If you haven't subscribed, please do us a favor of just giving us a subscribe, like our video, and leave a comment for us. Until we meet again, bye bye.
For more information and also to reach us, please contact the numbers on the screen. You can also reach us through our social media handles displayed on the screen. Please do like, follow, and subscribe to our social media handles. A Softek IT Consult. Innovative solutions with the difference.